Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be participating in the Secret Not Secret Gig Club telephone game hop. I am following on from Kristen Burkhart Carlson, so this is the layout she made and passed on to me, so I am going to be making my layout as similar to hers as I can without it being perfectly identical. If you're not familiar with this hop, basically one person starts out with a layout and passes it on to the next person, and it continues on going down the line with each person only seeing the person before theirs layout. So it kind of evolves with each person, and it's really interesting to see how it ends up at the end because it can be quite different from the original layout. So I am going to be scrapping these two photos of my little man just playing. We were just hanging out in the backyard doing a bit of gardening and enjoying the sunshine on this day. So I pulled out this kit that I have put together. It's a homemade kit made from mostly Pebbles Summertime, and there's some Amy Tan Stay Sweet in there as well as some other bits and pieces. So I think there's a bit of Simple Stories as well. So I am going to be using two photos. The layout I am scrap lifting has two photos. Hers was square, mine are not going to be square just because those were the photos I wanted to use and I wasn't going to be able to crop them down enough to be square. So I am going through and cutting out some of these journal cards here. I noticed she has a kind of couple of rectangular shaped pieces either side of her photo cluster. So she has some baby facts and then kind of a journal card. So I'm just going to echo that with these journal cards. I'm also going to copy the floral border she has going on. So she's got a nice thick border, and then she has two layers of one of a plain pattern and one of a striped pattern paper in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and use this sunshine pattern paper. It reads as a polka dot, but it's teeny tiny sunshines. So I am going to go ahead and stick all of that down. I will just let you know while I am doing this that I will leave the links to everyone who is playing in with my group for the telephone game in the description box, so please go ahead and check those out. I am part of the Artistic Arsenal group and I'm being followed by Vanessa Bell. Everyone in this group is super amazing and talented, so like I said, I will leave those links in the description box below. There are quite a few different groups playing along with this hop, so keep an eye out for that across YouTube because there are lots of crafty peeps joining in this time, so it's a lot of fun. This is actually my first time joining in, and it's been heaps of fun, so definitely worth a watch. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and map my photos on this white. I'm just putting a white border on my photos. Hers had that as well, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So I've also added those strips there. Those are both branding strips, I believe. One is those little houses from the Amy Tan paper pad, and then the Hello Summer is from the Pebbles from one of the papers. And her layout has two strips of pattern paper as well across the middle there. And I like those houses because we were in our backyard, so that makes sense. And there is a hole in the middle of that house strip because it did come off the paper pad. So I would just strategically place that so that you can't see the hole. And that's a good way to use up that pretty houses pattern, where otherwise it might be a bit difficult to use. So I'm just going ahead and positioning all that and getting all that adhered. Now I am going to go in with some texture paste, and this wasn't in the original layout. I don't think she had any mixed media on her layout, but she does have a cluster at the bottom here in the middle and at the top left here, where I am just going to pop this texture paste in behind before I build those clusters, just to add my own little touch to the layout, I suppose. It's very rare that I don't do any kind of mixed media on a layout, so I just wanted to add some of that. That was a Color Blast paste in Punch, and I just pushed it through a little Kaisercraft kind of wonky line stencil. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick down my photos. The good thing about following or scrap lifting or following a sketch like this is I know where my main elements are going to go. So there's really nowhere else these can go now. So I'm just going to go ahead and commit to sticking them down. I just make sure not to put my adhesive all the way out to the edge of my element so I can tuck things in underneath if I want to. I'm going to distress my cards. I don't think she did that, but again, distressing is something I do on pretty much every layout, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that with my little scissors and add some texture to those edges. There we go. I'm just going to, dirty this card up a little bit with my fingernails, just add a bit more kind of rough texture to it, and stick those down. Trim off the excess, snip, snip. And now I'm going to add my journaling to the top of this card because the rest of the pattern paper is pretty busy, and this is a nice blank space where I can put that in. Just adding the date as well. It was just a few lines about how we're hanging out in the garden and enjoying the sunshine. And I'm going to add a sketchy border to this card because it's just white and very plain. So just another thing that I do quite often on my own layouts. I am going to pop in, I wouldn't say this is the title to my page, but I am going to pop this in. It's a foam thicker from the Stay Sweet collection because she does have her main title at the top there on the top left. So I wanted to add that. I don't know that my page really has a main title because it has those two cards. The letters on those are very similar sized, and that, remember, is very similar sized to both. So you can I'll decide when I put the title in the video what the title is. I'm just going to pop in some of the ephemera from the Pebbles collection now. I like the toucan at the bottom. She has a little stalk on her page, so I thought that that made a cool little addition. I'm just going to pop in some embellishments around my clusters now. She does have an embellishment cluster at the top of her card off to the right, so I'm going to tuck in some ephemera and bits and pieces up the top there. I'm just trimming off the white border on those die cuts. That drives me crazy. Popping in some stickers, just building up those clusters. I'm also going to chop off this strip. I don't know what inspired me. I think she has a little subtitle at the top of this photo on her layout. So I wanted to add something up there with text, but I don't want to add any more titles. So I'm just going to snip off this piece. I know this day was a Tuesday because I looked it up. So I've cut off those 3 days of the week, and I'm going to tuck that back there. And then I'm just going to circle the day of the week that it was. So I thought that was a nice way to add some text without, adding another title to my page. And I like those colors as well. It just fits nicely in the top there. I'm going to add some more ephemera just at the bottom of this card. It's really nice. It has that little lady beetle there already, so that kind of helps to create a spot for my cluster to land. And then just a few more stickers and bits and pieces down here, just till I'm happy with how full my clusters are looking. I love these little clear stickers. They're really, really sweet. I'm just going to add some flowers, and I think I add a couple of ice creams. I also popped that little bee at the top left there because she has a little bird on her layout just above the title there. So I thought the bee was a cute way to bring that element in. Little watermelon, a little hat, another little flower. So there's heaps of little bits and pieces in that Pebbles collection. I'm so glad I picked that up. It's an older one, but it's really sweet. I'm also going to add in some Nuvo drops here because she did add Nuvo drops on hers. I don't use these nearly as often as I should, so I'm just going to go ahead and add 3 groups of 3 around my main embellishment clusters. And this is the let me just find the bottle. The Nuvo Crystal Drops in Gloss Calming Aqua is the colour. So I'm just going to go ahead and add, like I said, 3 groups of 3 of those, and then my layout will be done. Thank you so much for joining me. Close-ups are coming up. Remember to check the description box for all those other channel links, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.